Okay, so if we want to use these styles across more than one page in our website, we need to use an external style sheet. It's way more efficient to make one document and have all of our pages refer to that document. And if we make a change on that document, it will affect all of our HTML files that point to it. To do that, we have to link all those pages to our external style sheet. But let's start with making the style sheet first. So right now, we have these style embedded into our HTML document. Instead of doing that, let's make a brand new document. So I'm going to File, New, and I'm going to just start out by saving this. I'm going to save it in the same folder as my web page, which I believe I have on my desktop in the web folder. I'm going to save it here, and I'm going to call it, I'll call it mystyle.css. Now you can name this anything you want to. Again, it's always better in web if you don't put spaces in your names. I'm using some camel case there and calling mine mystyle. And I'm saving it in my web folder, which is also the place where this document is saved on my desktop for this example. Okay, so just like your images and things, we're putting them all in the same folder right now. I'll hit save. Now here's my CSS. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to take these styles. Now notice I am not taking the style tag. Okay, the style tag is HTML. We do not need that. We don't need that in our CSS sheet. We only need the style tags when we're embedding or when we're using an inline style. So we only need what's in here. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come over to my style sheet and just paste this in. And now I have a whole bunch of fixing up to do because I don't need all these indents anymore. I need some of them, just not so far. Let's reformat this a little bit. Okay, the items inside of the body of our H1 block or inside the body of our H2 block are indented. Notice there's no style tag. That's a very common error. That's probably the third time I've told you we don't need to use a style tag inside our CSS sheet. Now that we've deleted this, we can get rid of our style tag and all the stuff that's in it over here. So our style sheet's here. I've saved it. If I come over here and I hit refresh, I've got nothing. There's nothing there. That's because we have to link to our style sheet from our page. So in our page, in our head section somewhere, we have to specify the style sheets we're going to use. So I am going to do a link tag. So there's sometimes some confusion between links, which we talked about last week or the week before, which were hyperlinks technically, and we used the anchor tag for those. So those kind of links use the anchor tag. This link actually links to another document, and it goes in the head section. This isn't something that's displayed on the page. And then we have to give it, we've seen that before, right? We have to give it a reference to the file we're linking to, and that is the same as we do in anchor tags. Hypertext reference equals, and I called it mystyle.css. Notice that's in quotes, just like it is when we do regular anchor tags. We also have to tell it that it's a style sheet and that the type of the file is text/CSS. And this is one of those tags that closes itself. So we put an extra space and a slash. Okay. So anytime you do a link to a CSS sheet, it's going to look exactly the same as this. Okay. Make sure you don't leave out the style sheet and don't leave out the text/CSS references. They have to be there. The only thing that you might change is if you named your style sheet differently, or if you have more than one style sheet. We'll talk about that later. The actual name of the file you're linking to will change. And you may even see later on where we use a full URL here to link to a style sheet on another site somewhere. That's even possible. We can link to a style sheet or a file that's on another server somewhere if we want to. In this case, we're linking to the file that's in the same folder as our index file. I save this and refresh over here. Now my web page has a link to this file. If I go over here and I view page source, I can look. There's the link that points it to my style sheet. And for all the pages in my website, I only have one in this little sample site. But if I have 2 pages, I can link them all to the same style sheet. And when I change this color for H1s and I save it, it won't just save it for that page. It will change it on every page on my website. Let's do another. We've done color. Let's do background color. Let's change our heading 1 color to black. That's our foreground color. And let's do a new one. Background dash color. We'll set it to orange. And I spelled background wrong. And I need a semicolon after it. Okay. So I want you to notice something. When I do background color, I actually use the word background. But when I just say color, that means foreground color. That type of question comes up on certification tests quite often. They'll say, hey, what's wrong with this code? Or they'll say, hey, this code's not working properly. And they'll have something like foreground color as one of your choices. If they're asking you to pick which one changes the color of a font. And you might say foreground color or something, maybe they'll have font color. But it's not. It's just color. Background color has the word background color, but the foreground or the font color is just color. So let's save that and go over here and refresh. And now you can see my foreground color is black. And now I have a background color of orange. All right, we're going to stop there and I'll come back in another video and show you a few other things.